What's up friends, it's me T. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you can go ahead and drag your mouse to that red button below that might say subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, today I am in Nashville for work and I have an hour or so to spare, so I thought I might as well put together a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now. Plus, this lighting is totally fab. I mean, how great does my skin look right now? But it's totally fooling you because I got makeup on and good lighting with a giant window behind me, so all about perspective, baby. Anyway, I've been wanting to share some tips about how to be vegan or how to start off vegan for those of you that are trying to slowly transition your way into becoming a vegan. I always hear people talk about how hard it is and how expensive it is, so I'm just here to kind of debunk those and maybe help make your transition a little smoother. So tip number one, which some disagree with, but in my opinion, going vegetarian before completely vegan is the easier route. You may disagree, this may be just a personal preference. Some people prefer to just go all out vegan, letting go of everything animal produced, and I mean, they succeed. For me, it was a little bit slower, where I was a vegetarian first and I slowly transitioned out of all cheese and dairy products. Now, the reason for me why the vegetarian step seemed necessary is not because of what I made at home, because that wasn't really dairy focused or meat focused, but more so when I went out to eat with my friends, it was very hard for me to get used to ordering things in a vegan way, meaning there's not always vegan options on the menu and you have to make things vegan. And for me, it was easier to start off by getting like cheese flatbreads or maybe mac and cheese or like a Caesar salad, which isn't vegan, stuff like that to like make my way into getting used to ordering like in a different way. I know that seems like it should be something so easy, but for me, it was just like I was doing it all the time because I moved to a new city, Chicago, for those of you that don't know. So I was constantly going to happy hours and trying new restaurants with friends, so that just kind of made it a little bit easier in my mind. And I was only vegetarian for like 2 months, I think, before I did make that official transition into a vegan. Which leads to my next tip. I think that you should write down everything, or at least think through everything that you eat on a daily basis now. So think about what you're typically used to making for breakfast, what you're typically used to making for lunch and dinner, or what those favorite meals are, and then taking a look at them and seeing which ones are not vegan now. It's a very good possibility that none of them are vegan. And then from there, decide which ingredients aren't vegan, and A, if you can do without them completely, or B, if you can just substitute them with a vegan ingredient, like vegan cheese, vegan cream cheese, almond milk, soy milk, vegan butter or olive oil, meat crumbles, vegan sausages. You get what I'm saying here. That way you don't have to feel like you're completely giving up your favorite meals, and instead you are just replacing some of the ingredients in those meals with some conscious and cruelty-free ingredients that'll make you feel better about yourself. My third piece of advice isn't really something that you should do, but rather maybe something to avoid. In my case at least, I wasn't going vegan for weight loss. Rather, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it was for my own health, it was for the animals, the environment, etc. But a lot of people do it for weight loss. And the thing is that you can't think that everything vegan is automatically healthy. Depending on like your definition of healthy, it is technically healthier for your blood, your body, etc. But it doesn't mean that it's low calorie. So in order to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you're putting in. And that same rule applies for when you're going vegan. So if you're just replacing normal cheese with vegan cheese, they're likely the same amount of calories. One's just healthier for your body, but not going to help you lose weight, if that makes sense. If you are trying to lose weight on a vegan diet, it's probably a lot easier if you're going with whole foods like vegetables and fruit, rather than trying to do all of the mock meats and cheeses and whatnot. I myself have not been on the weight loss train, but I am thinking about trying to pay more attention to what I am putting in my body and eating out less and trying to eat more whole foods. I just like have been in this train of thought that I'm in this fun city with so much to try, so much to do, so many like vegan comfort foods that I always give into and want to try because it's just amazing to me that these vegan alternatives can taste just as good or even better than the actual thing that I used to eat. So I feel like now that I've been vegan for a year, maybe it's time for me to start thinking more about my health and eating these whole foods and organic foods and more raw forms of these foods, rather than always thinking about what I can make that looks or tastes like what I used to eat or whatever. And I'd probably be a little bit happier with my appearance as well, if you know what I'm saying. Not that I'm not happy, but you can always be happier and improve, you know what I'm saying? I also recommend still treating yourself. So even if you are doing this like whole foods, raw foods, whether that treating yourself means with like really sweet fruit, or in my case, it's typically dairy-free Halo Top. You need to recognize that just because you're on a vegan diet doesn't mean that you're limited to a few options. You still need to treat yourself so you're not binging or restricting yourself way too much, because you deserve a treat every once in a while, fam. Okay, and then another piece of advice is to make friends with others that are also vegan or transitioning to veganism. It'd be awesome if you can convince someone that's close to you to do it with you. That would be A+, because it's like making two people better and making our planet better and helping the animals 2 times as much. For me, my mom went full vegan actually before me, so she's someone that I could talk to about how I was feeling or just complain to her when others weren't really respectful of my vegan lifestyle. I haven't had to like vent to her about it in a long time, but we used to have these conversations quite a lot about what people were saying and how that made me feel. I guess I'm just kind of used to it now, or people are more accepting because the vegan lifestyle has definitely increased all over the world. But even being a year into veganism, I still think that it would be amazing to have like a vegan best friend that would go to all these vegan restaurants with me, share recipes with me, bond about what other people say, and cruelty-free products that we're trying. I don't know, I think that that would be really cool to have. I don't actually have that besides my mother, but I do follow like bloggers on Instagram and YouTube that are also vegan that I like to pretend are my virtual friends, I guess. Which is kind of another piece of advice in itself. So if you're looking for like recipe ideas or how other people are living a vegan lifestyle, look up those on YouTube and Instagram and like blog websites to see what they're making, how they're living, etc., because it might help you out in the long run. I don't know what number I'm on, but my next piece of advice is to get used to looking at ingredients on everything. I still make the occasional mistake where I think that a sauce is like vegan just because I've gotten a vegan sauce of the same kind in the past that was vegan. For example, like just picking up like a teriyaki, and this one actually has like sardines in it, but my last one didn't, so I assume this one doesn't. So taking the time to always look at the ingredients is very, very important. Same thing goes for beauty products. So I'm not familiar with like beauty product chemicals and which ones mean like animals and not, I don't really know, but you can easily Google these things. Whether you're shopping online and you Google it, or you're in store and you see something that looks appealing to you that you want to try, literally just Google the brand online and put "is blank cruelty free?" and you will probably get an answer within the first 2 links, and it's totally worth doing. I think that I've officially transitioned all of my beauty products into cruelty-free. I didn't just throw everything away right as I turned vegan. I still used the products that I was using just so they didn't go to waste, and then slowly tried new products. And I've tried quite a few things. Check out my 2018 favorites video to see what products ended up being my absolute favorites, but I'm still discovering favorites as I try new things already this year, so just look at reviews, Google like top cruelty-free products, whatever that may be that you're looking for, like top cruelty-free vegan foundation or lotion, whatever it may be. It's really not hard to find because we have the magical Google machine available to us at our fingertips at all times. I promise you can do it and that it's worth the time. And then I think my final piece of advice is going to be to figure out what you want to say to people whenever they ask you why you're going vegan, or if they say something that kind of offends you, like, oh, I could never go vegan, like that's dumb or something. That was just an example. Because it's still hard for me and I'm still kind of thrown off, honestly, sometimes. Like when people ask me why, my typical answer is, I know it's cliche, but I started off by watching What the Health documentary on Netflix, which by the way, I highly recommend watching. And it sort of convinced me to do it for my health, the animals, and the environment. And it opened my eyes up to our whole world and made me recognize how brainwashed we were. And I just felt like I'd been being lied to about health for my entire life, so I had to make this change. And when people say, you know, I could never do that, I'm always just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's a lot easier than you think it is. There's so many products out there today because our world is constantly evolving and the vegan lifestyle is so popular right now. It's really not as hard as you think. Like, you should definitely give it a try. I feel like it probably sounded better right there than I typically say in person because I am sometimes just kind of like an antsy-pantsy gal who gets thrown off a little bit, but having that prepared so you're not just like, bleh, bleh, because I really like pigs and I don't want cancer. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe having that prepared will make you feel a little bit better and more knowledgeable about the subject, if that makes any sense at all. All right, that's all I can think of at the moment. If you have any questions for me or want to put any recommendations down in the comment sections for others, I'm sure it'll be super helpful and I'll probably learn from you guys as well. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. I love you all and I will see you next video. Bye guys.